Hey, Colorado Springs. This is Jenny Bayless, and I am here today with my co-host, Leah Keeling. Leah, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Jenny?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to talk about a multifamily property in Colorado Springs with you.
Yes, I know. It's a good one.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, and we're just going to jump right in here and make things
Mhm.
quick for you guys. Tell us a little bit about the client and then about the property itself, and we'll just dive right into the numbers right after.
Yeah. So this is one of Envision's repeat clients. Great client of ours. I want to say this is his fifth deal with us. Yeah,
I think so.
fifth
Yeah.
deal in
Yeah.
like the past 2 years. I think this is his fourth fourplex that we've closed on. So he is a keeper. Um, but yeah, this was really what he thought was going to be his fourth and final fourplex deal. But stay tuned.
Yeah.
We might have more to add to that. But no, this is a really good one. He likes to say, keep all of his properties within 15 minutes of one another. So this one is just like right down the street from two other ones that he has. So perfect little area. All the rents were like really at market rent, maybe a little higher than market rent on this. So that was really exciting, and it had bill back already in the leases. So really, it was just set and ready to go. So that's what made it really attractive to us.
Awesome. Yeah, and this one was on the market for quite a while, I'm guessing
Hmm.
because the rates, just
Hmm.
make it really hard for people to make it work. But this
Hmm.
client, he put down 40%.
Yes.
And that's something that we've been mentioning to people like over the
Hmm.
last year, like, prices, they have some wiggle room, but not a ton of wiggle room. So your options are either put down more cash to subsidize your cash flow in that way, or
Hmm.
be creative on your strategy, such as room by room. And I
Yeah.
probably sound like a broken record, but this is really the only closings that we're seeing are people that are doing one or the other, at least in
Yep.
Colorado Springs. Pueblo is a different story.
Yep.
But I think that this is really the way to make it work. So this client, he chose the 40% down,
Hmm.
make it a little bit safer for him. He has, a long-term hold strategy for it. So he understands that rates are high right now. They may go down in the future. We don't know. He wants it to work today. And then if it works
Hmm.
better in the future, great. But he
Yeah.
wants it to work today. So I think that's the
Yeah.
best way of going into it. So
Yeah, I agree. If
sorry
you
for
can
my
do it,
tangent on that.
no, that's good. I think if you can do it, then that's the way to do it, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
So, what was the list price and what was the purchase price and all the numbers related to that?
yeah, so the list price was 750. And I feel like we could have went in a little bit more competitive, but he just wanted to get it off the market. The numbers worked for him, so we just went in at 750 with a 10K concession, and they accepted our offer. And then through inspection, we got a $2,500 credit. So it came out to 12,500 on seller concessions
Okay.
towards closing costs. So that really helped out.
And that looks to be what thereabouts that he paid in
Mhm.
his closing costs. So it
Yeah,
was a wash there. So that's good.
yeah. It was a total wash on that. And then he probably had about 8K to put in initially, just on, some deferred maintenance stuff in the units, just little
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Was it mostly cosmetic or was there anything,
Yeah,
immediate?
nothing major. It was just like appliance, broken appliance, garbage disposals, some kind of weird electrical stuff going on. Nothing major, just things that the previous seller was not keeping up on.
Mm.
So our inspection was a little rough. It was like we were getting the wrath of
Unhappy tenants.
yeah, unhappy.
Yeah.
Every unit we went in, it was the same story.
Oh
I'm just
no.
like calming everyone's nerves the whole time. But it was good. It makes me happy for the tenants because, this client really cares about his tenants and his
Hmm.
properties. It's probably my favorite thing about him is how, he just wants people to be able to live well in his units. And so we're just like, everything will be okay. We're gonna get all this stuff handled for you. I'm like taking a list in my phone of unit A, unit B, like all the little things needed done. So
I think that's great, and that's a fantastic thing to bring up, and to help mend bridges with tenants that may be irritated with previous owners, previous
mhm,
management. I know you guys closed a week ago. I'm sure that
mhm,
this client probably fixed everything on the list by now, knowing him.
yes.
So I'm sure that they are just elated to have him in there, and
Yeah.
I think that'll go a long way when it comes time for renewal, reducing that vacancy. I think that
Mhm,
will go a long way for him just to be a good person, a good landlord. So that's
mhm.
great.
And it's always scary for tenants when there's an ownership change. Like it just breaks my heart when you walk in like on inspection and they're all just kind of looking at you like, so is he going to raise my rent? Like what's going to happen? It's just like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so, it was good for them. I was like, no, all good things, on this, like you guys all your rent is fine.
Your
So
lease
yeah,
prevails. Yeah, that's
yes,
something that, maybe some tenants don't understand that their lease prevails with a sale. So it
yes,
does not matter who buys the house. If you have a valid lease in place,
yes,
that stays. That does not
exactly.
change. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm glad that you guys were able to educate them a little bit on their
Mhm.
rights for that. So
Yes.
cool. So what they're all I'm looking at the rents right now,
Mhm.
knowing where the property is. This is, I would say, above market rate.
Yeah.
They're all on the same price too.
Exact
So
same
can you
price.
tell everyone what
Mhm.
what that one is?
Yeah, so all the units are at 12.95, which you have fourplex over here. So what do you think market is, like 1,200?
All of mine are at 1200, which includes utilities. So
Mm,
I think my base leases are 1100.
okay.
Because I have a lot of legacy tenants, and everyone knows how I am about that. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm very slow to raise rent. But
Yeah,
yeah, even this number is 1300. Like, I don't think I would dream of releasing a unit at that price. So that's really interesting.
I know. I
Yeah.
mean, the units were pretty much updated. Like there were a couple that were nicer than others, granite countertops in the
Mm.
kitchens, nice flooring. So it was, the building was well taken care of. A couple need more updating than the others, but otherwise, yeah, it was in pretty good shape. But the rents were, I think, what attracted us the most. And then they have utility bill back
Yeah, so
as
I
well.
mean, really it's like 1400 a month
Yeah.
at this point, yeah, cuz I know buildings in that area tend to run about 400ish a month
Hmm.
in utilities. So wow, that is very kept up to date, you
Yeah.
know. And
Mhm.
if the tenants are fine paying that, at this point, and then, the client's just going to come in and make things better for them, I'm sure they'll be really happy because I
Mhm.
imagine he's probably not gonna raise rent come renewal time.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think so. I
yeah.
think, he's gonna wanna keep them in there. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. That's great. So
Mhm.
so wow. And then I know that this client, he's very big on self-management, so
Yeah.
he's, helping out the bottom line a little bit by not having
Mhm.
a property manager in there.
Yeah.
And then you guys have 8% budgeted for maintenance, um, not including the $8,000 that you have set aside for the we'll,
Mhm.
we'll we'll call it the deferred maintenance that you guys are aware of.
Yeah.
I think 8% is good. I've noticed on the fourplexes that if there's a problem in one unit, there's usually a problem in another unit. So,
Mhm.
they can maintenance can run a little high, I think, on that. But I know that this client does a lot of the repairs himself, so
Yeah.
he's probably helping out the return on that
Yeah.
aspect.
He'll have his contractor, like, go in and do the initial list of things,
Hmm.
and then after that, he pretty much takes care of the things that come up on his own if he can. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about taxes and insurance. I know this is kind of a drum we keep beating now. But we have taxes at 1,700 and insurance at 3,700 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about taxes. I have to imagine that this is probably going to be close to double for next year. Is that?
I think so too. I'm like, is that right?
No, I actually, so being in
Is
being in
it?
that area, yes, that is right for
Okay.
this year, but mine doubled for next year.
Yeah.
I
I was
couldn't
gonna
believe it.
say, I'm like,
Yeah.
did I just mistake that input? Because why does that seem really low?
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
correct for this year, but yeah,
Yeah.
projecting for future years
Yeah. I'm like,
that's
I think we
definitely
can,
incorrect.
yeah, we'll count that at like 3,200 or something
Yeah,
for next year.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then insurance at 3,700, which I think um based on kind of discussions with other multifamily owners, that's kind of a steal of a rate
Hmm.
there. So, um, which
Yep.
which is just wild because last year it would have probably been $1,000 less.
I
Um,
know.
so I think 3,700 going into next year, that's probably accurate. Hopefully it doesn't
Hmm.
change again next summer when he renews again. But
Yeah.
those
I think
taxes
he
are going to
did.
be.
I think he did a little hack on that. He like bundled some car insurance or something with it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
And
do what
so,
you gotta do with these
yeah.
insurance premiums. They're just
Hmm.
skyrocketing, so
That's
good
what
for
I
him.
always tell people. I'm like, check with who you get your car insurance through. Like, see if you can bundle and get a little bit of a discount.
Mhm, and
So,
I will give my little spiel on that too, is don't skimp on insurance. Like, don't
yeah.
undercover yourself. We're joking about the 3,700 being more, versus 2,500 last year or whatever. If a
Hmm.
disaster happens, like anything really,
Yeah.
that 3,700 is a drop in the bucket. Don't say, hey, this person over here is offering me 3,500 for less coverage. Don't
Exactly.
do it. So,
Yes. Make sure you have a good insurance agent
yes, exactly.
that has your back. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
And then it looks like, so is he not covering trash as part of the bill back? The landlord's on the hook for the trash.
So the previous seller, told the tenants that trash was included in their rent, but then they didn't even have trash service. Felt so bad for them.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the
Okay.
tenants was like hauling the trash away, paying with his own money in his own truck. It was crazy. Yeah. These
Wow.
people were upset.
Understandably,
Yeah.
that's pretty awful to not have trash on site. So
Yes.
I'm glad. I'm sure I know exactly this client, he really likes the bins. I've kind of I've kind
Yes.
of gotten him onto the bandwagon for
Yeah.
multifamily. So I'm sure that it's looking good over there now. So
Yeah, it does. When I went by the other day, it was like so much cleaner already. So,
good.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the cash flow tab. So let's see. He's all in for 300K. And that's a lot of money, but
It's a lot of
it's
money.
because he put 40% down. And again, it's that long-term strategy that he has. So,
Mhm.
I know we kind of harped on that in the beginning of this podcast, so I won't keep going over that. But then going down to, his net operating income, we're looking at just shy of 50K for the year. When you consider his rental income minus his expenses, um, and then his mortgage payments each month, we're anticipating his mortgage being about $3,200 a month, which comes to about 39,000 in mortgage payments. So he's looking at about a $10,000 annual cash flow before taxes, which, a 3.3% cash on cash rate of return. Nothing amazing, but I don't think you're going to find an amazing cash on cash return, especially when you put so much down,
Mhm.
in this case. But, just comparing apples to apples, the cap rate is 6.5.
Mhm.
And on a multifamily, I have not seen a 6.5 cap in Colorado Springs on a fourplex in a very, very long time.
Yeah, no. I
So,
haven't seen any number. It's like we're lucky if we break even, right? On a lot of
right.
these.
Yeah. So this is, yeah, usually like a couple years ago, they're in the, I don't know, mid fours, I would
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6.5, you know, taking the mortgage payment out of the equation and just looking at it, purchase price and performance,
Mhm.
it's really well. So yeah, so congrats to this client. I'm super excited for him. I'm excited for the tenants too, having a landlord that, is cleaning up the property a little bit for them.
Yes.
But yeah, any final thoughts on this one, or just kind of you think this is a good example of what we're seeing nowadays for multifamilies in Colorado Springs?
I think so. And I think on the other side of things on this one, a lot of properties we come across, a lot of the rents are way under market. And I just
Mhm.
think it goes to show how keeping your rents at market like really helps on the resale side,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's super attractive to us, even though waiting a turn or it's not the end of the world. And a lot of times you have to do it. But I think this one, it just made the deal even more attractive because you didn't have to do all that work.
Yeah, the paperwork behind
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
So I think that, that's just important for I think people to know too. But this is a
Perfect.
good strategy if you have the cash you want to deploy into something like this. This is a good deal. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for hopping on and telling us about this deal, and we will see you all later. Thanks, everyone.